Welcome back to Capital Conversations. I'm Marty Owings.
And I'm Andi Friedel.
We're here now with Representative Jim Abler, who represents Anoka. He is also the Health and Human Services Chair. Welcome to the show.
Nice to be here again. Thanks for having me.
Good to see you. We were talking, you just handed us this lovely,
It's very lovely.
I don't know, newspaper? What do you call it?
Newspaper survey.
Newsletter survey.
Really? Because I would have called it propaganda. Because look at the Jim Abler right at the top.
Well, it says he's responsible.
It says that. It says, but it's in red. They used to represent communism when I was. No, I'm just teasing.
Better red than.
Right. Better dead than red.
That's right. I got it.
But here you are, featured prominently with the speaker.
Yeah.
We've got some photos.
Doing the people's work.
The people's work. And this is the legislative survey that you send out, which I want to commend you for, because I haven't seen one of these in my district.
Well, we don't mail it to your district. Actually,
no, not yours, but Senator Uyghur, I could use one. But the legislative survey covers a bunch of questions, and this goes to constituents in your district.
Yes,
15,500. At no cost to the state.
Right.
And then they take the time, fill this out, put it in a self-addressed stamped envelope, which they pay for, and then they send it to you.
Right.
Okay.
So what secrets have you learned?
Yeah, what do you garner out of this?
Well, that
it's leaning Democrat
hopefully they
now,
read
isn't
them.
it? I'm just teasing you.
Well, I heard you talking about the Vikings.
Yeah.
They would love them to stay, but they don't want to pay for it.
Right. Yeah.
Somebody
We've
else should
heard
pay.
that before.
They said that?
That
Did
was
they
on
actually
there.
say in your survey? Okay.
Well, the Viking Stadium. How important is the Vikings a new stadium? Not important. 54%.
Wow.
Not important.
Wow.
Does that surprise you?
I thought it'd be important, at least, on their mind.
Yeah.
What were their choices? What question number is it?
Very important, important, not important.
Oh, sure.
And so 28 said it was important. How about that? And 17 thought it was very important. Do you support funding to build a new Viking stadium? Yes, all it takes, 5%. If the Vikings pay the same amount, 25%. Infrastructure, 20%. No, 50%.
So they clearly they don't want to pay for the
Right.
building of it.
So there's going to be a sales tax in Anoka County. Oh.
Well, we almost had one of those things.
No.
And then I asked where should they put the stadium. That was a question I kind of liked. Arden Hills.
Anoka.
Arden Hills got 45%.
If somebody else can pay for it, can we have it in our?
Minneapolis, so we tried that. Minneapolis did 25%.
Okay.
And anywhere out of state they want to take it, I gave them that choice.
Okay.
That was 19%.
Wow.
Go Twins and take the Vikings with you, that sentiment. So it makes it kind of a tough nut for my district.
Yeah.
They're not that interested, but I think we need to do something. And if they leave, they would be angry. However, we have to read their minds and then do good work and then convince them that we're doing the right thing.
So what else has surprised you or was
Yeah,
interesting
that's
from the
good question.
Well, there weren't a lot of big surprises. I mean, some questions were easy. Some people said, well, why are you asking such obvious questions? I did ask 34 questions. I did have them score my performance from a scale to
How was that?
1 to 10. I got 7.1.
Oh, that's good.
I got a couple of ones. I thought, well, thanks. And a 10, and my mom, thanks, Mom, for the 10. But 7.1's not bad. Add up all the scores.
I got to give you credit because you started on the left with terrible, and then that 1 is a terrible. If they
Right.
gave you 1, you're
Yeah.
terrible, and then 10 is a great. But you started with terrible. You know, a lot of people would have put that away from where you can.
Oh, so
read
it's
it,
harder,
you know?
so you have to
Yeah.
move your hand
somewhere
more,
in the
so-
crease. It's been folded over.
So I could be a 7.5 maybe if I would have put it. I would have,
I'm just saying that's a pretty good score for any elected politician nowadays.
So
That
this is-
question went to everybody, not just your family, right?
oh yeah, the whole family. Yeah, the
Now
whole.
this is online too, right? I think I saw an online version.
Yeah.
Well, then maybe so. We're not that technological.
Yeah, but if people want to go look, can they go if they don't live in the district and get one of these handy things?
I suppose somehow I asked my LA. I asked my 13-year-old for help with my technology, so I've
Well-
got the.
Okay, so go to the state representatives.
Call my people.
Yeah.
Legislative site.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
legislative website. But Representative Abler, how many legislators do you know that send out a legislative survey?
A lot of them do. Apparently not yours, but
No.
everybody but your guy.
Well, they're Democrats. I think they haven't.
Well, these cost $4,500 to put out. Just to do-
$4,500.
Just we send it to all the houses in my district.
Tax money?
campaign money. I have to fundraise $4,500 to go put out one piece of literature to my district. So people say, why don't you write me more often? It's like, well, it's $9,000 to do it twice. Isn't that pretty good? And so it's really hard to, the question you might want to inquire about is, how does someone stay in touch with their constituents? You know, they try to write us once in a while. Many people are disengaged and are busy.
Yeah.
So how do I get them involved? I try to do a newspaper that goes to all their houses. You know how much mail you get, and I'm sure this becomes, it's just the right size of a bird cage too. So whether they write back or use it for some lining to their pet bird.
I like how you engineered it that way so that it does
Yeah.
serve multiple
It's
purposes.
recyclable.
Is
So if
this
they tear it in
recycled
half-
paper, by the way?
It will be soon. If most of them probably got recycled.
It is
I hope.
now. but basically, they cut this out, they
Yeah.
fill it out, they fold it over,
Fold it over
into
and throw in
three,
a stamp and away
put
they
a
go.
stamp on it, and it gets to you.
Yeah.
I like it. It's old school, but I think it's good. I
Yeah.
think we should do that more often.
Well, there you go. The key toward getting along and working to get into
For better government.
Let me suggest one question for next year, Representative Adler. Is how do you think the legislature is doing overall, and then how do you think the governor is doing overall? It'd be nice to see
Oh, that's
what
a
you
good
get
question.
back.
I wasn't
You know?
afraid to ask my own question, but I should ask the overall question.
You know, just to hear what your district thinks.
Well, the way
of,
it goes, people usually hate the legislature, but they like their guy.
Yeah.
You know, at
Or
least that's
woman.
Congress, woman, yeah.
Yeah.
And they're, girls can be guys, but yeah, they're
Let me
individual
just-
who serves them. Yeah.
Not to be, you know, because we joke around a lot, you and I, but
Yeah.
and you've got a good sense of humor. But I want to read a couple of your awards here.
Okay.
All right, the
My mom will be
2005 State Fair Minnesota Favorite Pig Award. That
That's
doesn't
amazing.
seem right.
Yeah.
There's Outstanding Community Service Award. You
Yeah.
got that. The Advocacy Award from the Psychiatric Society, and the Guardian of Small Business Award. Oh, and a Legislator of the Year. That's at the top.
Yeah, there's a few of those.
And the National Alliance for the Mentally Ill. So each one of these organizations that advocates on behalf of their lobby, they tend to give out these awards every year.
Periodically, I don't know how often they give them, but they gave some to me, so.
Okay. Well, that's good, and they're
Yeah.
all listed here in your paper, and so folks know that you're doing a good job, and obviously it's just a wide range of organizations here. I guess what's
I try to cover the whole gamut.
you do cover
Try to
a
be all
gamut.
things to
I mean,
all
you got
people.
everything from the Business Defense Organization or whatever to the March of Dimes to the National Alliance for the Mentally Ill. So.
See, I've served 15,500 households and 38,000 people, so they're touched by all those groups.
All kidding aside, that it's important to be recognized for the work that you do, and oftentimes you get the bad press and
Yeah.
you get beaten up for the job up here, and you're guilty by association. But legislators work hard.
Yes, yeah, and it's not as easy as you think, and it's not that good of a job.
No, it doesn't
No.
pay very
You
well.
get to be on TV once in a while, which is pretty good here. So.
Or the internet.
Or the internet. Yeah.
Either one.
TV. I'm a dinosaur.
That's,
What's the internet?
what is the tubes?
What station is that?
Yeah, that's right.
Well, let's talk, let's get to the legislation.
Sure.
Health and Human Services Committee. What's going on?
Well, we wrapped up. We did our omnibus bill on the floor today, waiting for the Senate to take it up.
What's in it? What are we looking at?
We spent about $18 million, and we solved some of the problems of last time. There were 4 or 5 major things that were kind of clinkers from last year that we thought we'd try to remedy. The reduction in the pay for the family PCAs, the emergency medical assistance program. We tried to, and then we did some bed closures that came up kind of suddenly that were not fully vetted through the process very well. They came up the last day or so in the whole time that we were behind closed doors.
What were they related to, Representative Bailey?
Well, we tried to save some money, and we thought if we could close some group home beds, that would save us some money. And there's some, they thought we had too many. Turns out, it just wasn't what we thought. There was some legislators' remorse, and so we had to fix that in this bill. So those are the 3 big clinkers we had to deal with, and we did. And we also
Was it bipartisan dealing with it, or?
oh yeah, the
Okay.
governor and I and their staff and the commissioner.
So there's more funding for group homes or more beds?
Yeah, we had to spend a few $1 million to buy back what we tried to do, which didn't work. And what came out of that though was actually
It's nice to know that you can redo mistakes or whatever.
Yeah, we pushed the easy button.
Yeah, there's no easy button.
That was easy.
Yeah.
But what came out of that is actually kind of interesting, and probably one of the key things of the bill was that we're actually reforming how we put people in group homes and how long they stay and where they can go. The old law was you could only have 4 people in one site, which includes a 200-unit apartment building, only 4. And so we actually got permission to put up to 25%. And so if you have someplace to go besides a 4-unit group home, then the people can live more independently,
Okay.
and it's a little cheaper, and they have a better quality of life. Everybody wins. They win, and we win, and we can serve more people. And that was a breakthrough. So that may not seem like a lot to you guys. I can tell you're a little underwhelmed, but it's pretty cool.
No.
No,
Yeah.
I mean,
it's
I think it's important to understand, like, the 4-unit, for people who don't work in the situation.
Yeah.
My cousin actually manages one of those homes, so he was
Yeah.
kind of up here
Oh, yeah.
last session, not happy with
Not happy with me, probably.
right
Yeah.
some of the stuff going on. So
You
this
can
is-
quit calling. We fixed it. Stop the threats.
But yeah,
They're
it's,
not
you know,
tweeting that.
for someone who's not working in that industry.
Oh, it's
like,
complicated.
Yeah,
It's
all the laws that
Yeah.
surround it.
Well-
so. Yes, I'm glad you fixed that
tell him
problem.
where he's good.
Okay.
Last week, Senators, no, that's your question, Andy. It
Oh,
says,
go ahead. Yeah.
Well,
go ahead.
last week we had Senator
stealing
Nino
her
and-
question?
And yeah, Senator, we do that all the time. Mostly
Really?
it's my fault.
Wow.
Senator Nino and Senator Marty, you see that, how she did that? She's just like, that's not me, is it? I don't know what's going on, but there's a phone ringing in the
It's
background.
God calling.
just
He's
part of
angry
the
at you for
ambiance.
stealing her question.
Fair enough. Last week, Senator Nino
I'll
and
speak for
Senator
him.
Marty were here to discuss attempts to pass an HMO audit bill
Yes.
in order to learn more about how the state and federal monies are being spent
Yes.
by the HMOs that administer. As the chair of the Health and Human Services Committee,
In the bill.
good. I want to talk about that because Commissioner Jessen's been under fire. There's a federal investigation.
She's going to Washington tomorrow, as a matter of fact. to
Was she
testify.
summoned?
Yes.
Yes.
And in the article
Right.
today, it said everything's worked out. The federal government is giving their money, so getting their half.
Yeah, and I thought that was. Well, ask your question. Ask the rest of
Well,
Andy's question.
I think that there's probably something, we sense that there's smoke, and there might be fire. What's going on with this investigate? Can you comment?
Well, I don't know
legally?
anything. All that
Right.
they tell you is that there's a federal investigation, and it's ongoing. And so what I do know
They can't tell you anything, can they?
is that we have our own audit that we're doing of the HMOs for our own fiduciary responsibilities. And the
Sure.
legislative auditor is going to do a very in-depth, very stringent audit of the HMOs that serve our Medicaid patients.
Okay.
And we put over $1 million in the bill, and it's going to be, they're going to audit.
For what, accountability for
Right,
audits?
they're going to audit this year's numbers next year, and it'd be every 2 years, and they'll go in depth. And Jim
So we won't
Nobles-
know until next year what the
Right,
audit
yeah.
is. Okay.
And so Jim Nobles, who's a very rigorous investigator, will be conducting that. He'll be overseeing who they hire and what they'll do. We're very pleased that can go forward. It's a very strong bill.
Where are you getting money to pay for that?
Yeah.
A healthcare access fund. And
Is
there'll
that
be a
the
surplus.
smoking, the tobacco?
No, that's the Minnesota Care Tax
Oh, okay.
Fund.
What are you hearing
There's a
about from the
surplus.
HMO reps? What are they saying?
They know
What's
it's
their
coming and they're okay. What are they going to say? They have to do it. Oh, good. Come audit
But
us.
they
Yeah,
just
they-
quit their jobs or something, right? And wasn't that what they said last week? There were a couple that had resigned.
Well, they had a little scandal. I mean, they did some senior level outsourcing, I think, as a reorganization
Senior level outsourcing.
at Blue Cross. So Blue
Wait.
Cross got a
Sounds
new
scary.
CEO, so I think he brought in some of his people and
Right, okay.
got rid of some of their people.
We want some dirt. You got dirt?
I'm just I live such a boring life. I'm sorry.
No, I
You're the
don't.
chair of the Health and
That's
Human
not right.
Services.
Go ahead, Andy.
You can read his question.
Yeah.
I don't know what his question is. No, getting back to, I don't know, where am I, Marty?
Well, I don't know, but let's go. I'll just go to this one, then you can do this one.
How come he gets 2 in a row?
All right.
Let 'em-
Well, a couple weeks back, we ran an unscientific poll on voter IDs, a constitutional amendment on our website, and there's a slight edge that favored the amendment.
Really?
Well, I think we had like 54%. Yeah,
Really?
that favored it, yes. And what are you hearing from the residents of your district on the voter ID amendment?
Almost nothing. When I survey it, I think it was in the survey.
Yeah, I saw that.
Was it on the survey?
I believe it was.
Do you remember what
it
question
says
number it
Question
was?
6.
Question 6. Okay,
If
I can
memory
look up
serves.
question 6. Maybe I shouldn't rely on your memory.
Well,
Question 6 is jobs. Sorry.
oh, is it jobs?
Yeah, you're not.
What am
Maybe
I-
Andy knows what number it
You
was.
shouldn't have provided us. I do not.
Jobs. No, it's in here. I know.
Yeah.
I saw it. Election reform. There it is. Should Minnesotans be required, that's question 14,
14.
to provide photo identification as, I know I thought about jobs because you only had one question on jobs and that was your whole legislative agenda this year, right?
Well, I was a healthcare guy.
Oh, that's
So 76%.
it's not me.
They're hiring some auditors.
70, yeah, we're busy creating healthcare jobs. 76% thought we should have it, and 20% said no.
Okay.
Which is what it's run. It's even been higher than that in the past.
Yeah.
So to me, it seems like it's, people think it's logical.
But what do you make of the people that say, well, this is another way to disenfranchise or marginalize the Democratic voters? Who
Well, then
largely
you-
it would be,
Yeah,
the
so
ones
we've
who might
disenfranchised people who want to fly on an airplane. We disenfranchise people who want
You're not
to
going
use
to
their
make
credit
that
card.
analogy, are you?
Credit card. Actually, a Burger King, which is now closed thanks to the light rail. If you go there to try to use a credit
pesky
card,
light rail?
you need a photo ID to pay for a $5 hamburger with your credit card. Just so you know. So,
What?
What are you talking about?
Yeah.
well, at Burger King,
Yeah?
if you want to use your credit card there,
Yeah.
you have to have a photo ID. At Burger King, there's a little sign on the window. Just
What? Who's running that shop?
well, that's going to disenfranchise hamburger eaters.
Well, I'm just, but yeah, that.
No,
I
no,
saw
and-
somewhere else.
And I
for
just don't
sure.
understand. I mean, I'm not even being partisan. I just don't understand the concern. It just seems so normal to me. And we offered a free ID for people who need it, and that's as much thought as I put into it. I wasn't trying to hurt anybody when I voted for it. It just seemed logical to me.
Okay.
Believe it or not,
No, hey, you're on the record.
Yeah.
So all right.
I think it's logical. My Spock view.
All right, so I want you to weigh in on the Vikings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Skull Vikings.
What the?
Are you going to vote for the stadium? It's come up.
Yeah.
Monday's supposedly the end of the session, it looks
Yeah.
like.
So I think if they go away, people would hate us for it. I plan to vote for the stadium proposal that's there now.
The
I voted-
Minneapolis one.
Yeah, I hate it being in Minneapolis. I think it's the poorest site. If a committee designed a horse, it'd be a camel. Have you heard that saying? Well, that's the saying. Anyways, because everybody has to get their fingers in there. Well, this is a llama. This is such a goofy proposal.
This is even worse.
Oh yeah, it's like, really? This is the best they could do? And if we don't do this silly thing, they're going, I think. They're going.
Right.
And Arden Hills had so many advantages. Free land, open land, and it's a terrible toxic waste dump. They
It
could
might
get
be
it.
a brownfield. but-
Yeah, so they could fix it up, and pave over the bad parts. I mean, it was going to be great. You said, put plastic down so none of the
Get
fumes
the
come
drinking
out.
water and
But they were going to fix it for $28 million. I think it was going to cost to remediate the trouble, and it's a super fun site, and it'd be great.
Yeah.
It would give people hope. I think it would be 2 freeways can see it getting built, and now we're going to shoehorn it back.
So
in
do you know
Minneapolis.
what the details are today? Is it a sales tax on Hennepin County or what?
Oh no, we're going to gamble with pull tabs.
Oh, okay.
And we're going to back it up with tip boards and with ticket taxes and it's a llama.
Wow.
I mean, it's but
scary.
hopefully it'll work, and
All right. Well, stadiums.
I'm banking on that.
Yeah.
All right. We're getting the wrap-up
Uh-huh.
sign.
All
from our
right, yeah.
Producer Catherine.
We're getting the old. You
Is
better
that from the
hurry up.
callers at home? They say make them stop. Is that what you're getting?
No, they don't.
Okay.
We don't.
The tweet.
Although I got some tweets, but well, we won't.
Make him stop.
No, they're not saying that. They're just questions that we don't have time for at the moment. But we'll get to them. So that's it. That's all we have time for, Representative Abler. But you guys are supposed to wrap up Monday. Will it happen?
Monday will wrap up. I'm not sure if we'll be wrapping up on Monday. I believe they could hit Monday. There's.
Give me the prediction. What 60% likely, 70?
Well, they really want to get done on Monday.
Well, you're
14 years I've been here. I'm not sure they've hit the target date yet. you know.
Right. Okay.
We just want to know how many more of these we have to do.
You better still do there's a chance you'll be here on Tuesday.
Off the show. So constitutionally, you're required to balance the budget in a budget biennium year.
Yeah, we have no duties we have to do this year.
No,
at
there's
all.
no. You don't have
The
to. get a
governor doesn't need
bonding bill
anything. We've done whatever we had to do is done. We should pass our human service bill because it's a good bill. it'll make Minnesota a better place.
Yeah, call your legislators.
Yeah, call the Senate. House passed it today.
I mean, is it possible that you could end session without that being passed?
I would be really sad.
You'd be really sad, but what's the possibility? You think it's a pretty...
I
Have you
think
counted
it's a
votes?
slight. It's the Senate. I don't know.
Well, he's
have
got
you had any
the
senators?
votes.
Have you looked at the senators this year? Really? I mean,
Well, they're new. They're new.
I'm hoping for reasonable, common sense, sensible behavior from the Senate.
They don't even know you guys.
Am I shooting
You
high?
wear jeans in this house.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's totally loose.
I could never be a senator.
Thank you, Representative Jim Abler, for spending some time with us
Thanks.
tonight on the program. Always a pleasure to have you on.
Thank you.
When we come back, we'll talk to Dan Fight from Occupy Minnesota about what's happening in downtown Minneapolis with the Occupy movement. We'll be right back after this.